Well, it's been a little while since I did a video, and it has not been me taking a break or anything. I've actually been planning some larger projects for this channel, and that's just taken up all my videoing time. But I did want to try to put my rational 2 cents in on some of the things that have been going on in regards to Trump protests, calls for impeachment, setting fire to your own college because you don't like a speaker. And I am going to try to come at this in somewhat of a rational way. And to do that, the first thing I've got to do is, hopefully gently, in love, scold you. Every time your guy gets into office, you go hooping and hollering for more power. That my guy needs more power. My guy needs to be able to do this. My guy needs to be able to do that. And my guy needs to be able to do that on a whim. And then your guy gets out of office, and the other guy gets in office, and you complain about all the power he has. And I'm directing this at both parties. As you know, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Hillary guy. I wholeheartedly disapproved of both of them. But when George W. Bush was in office, all you conservatives out there were like, yes, the federal government needs this power and this power and this power and this power. And the executive needs to be able to do this executive order and this one and this one and this one. And the liberals all went crazy, rightfully so, went crazy about it until Obama got elected. And then all the anti-war protesters put up their signs because we don't care about people dying overseas anymore because our guy's in office. The news media stops counting the number of deaths in Afghanistan like they had been doing under George W. Bush because our guy's in office. And he needs power. And he needs to be able to bomb other countries. And he needs to do whatever he wants to do because he's our guy. And so he went crazy on power and expanded the power of the executive, started doing all these crazy executive orders that are completely unconstitutional, and all the conservatives start hooting and hollering. You can't do that. The Constitution. And neither side's actually read this document, okay? And it cracks me up when big government liberals and big government so-called conservatives start quoting the Constitution like it has anything to do with anything we're doing today. And both sides have their 3 favorite parts, and that's the only parts they've ever actually read. So, now Obama's out of office. And he laid the groundwork for a bunch of stuff that Trump is now doing. And the liberals go crazy and start getting violent and start setting fire to stuff and making ridiculous demands for impeachment, completely unconstitutionally, just because we don't like the guy, and all this stuff. And it's the same power, it's the same stuff. It's just he's wearing red instead of blue, and that's it. And that's the difference. And honestly, you big government guys, I need you to look through history. I need you to open a history book and take a look, because we're all for big government as long as our side's in charge. But but our side never stays in charge. And even in dictatorships. Look at, like, there's like, you can pull up online, there's these old Soviet pictures, right? Where, like, some guy is standing next to Gorbachev, and then that same picture gets published several years later, but the guy's not there anymore. And he's just gone. He's just disappeared. The kids on college campuses today are, like, protesting and setting things on fire because they don't like something specific that some speaker is saying. Right? And this is the stuff that we were seeing in the French Revolution. And what did the revolutionaries do right after there was no one left that disagreed with them? They changed the platform and they narrowed it. And then some people fell off the sides and they killed them. And those people who are at, like, Berkeley and protesting and being destructive, and the sad thing is, if they get their way, the only thing that happens after you eat the other guy is you start eating yourself. And the topic shifts. The focus shifts. And so we've gotten rid of all of the blank. And it's not a paradise yet. So what's the problem? It must be something else. And so then they go after someone else. And that is, at some point, going to be you. For all of you big government Democrats and all you big government Republicans, here's the thing. You want the power of the government to grow, and you want to use it to control your enemies. And then, as always happens, your enemies take control. And you have just given them all the power they need to oppose you. And then even if that doesn't work, even if for somehow you win the day and that battle is over, now you still have this power-hungry government that has control over everybody. They're gonna find a new enemy. They always do. What's the solution here? Okay, I mean, y'all might want to pull over if you're driving. You might want. Why are you watching a video while you're driving? Stop that. You might want to sit down. This is going to be shocking. This is going to be crazy. What's the solution? Less power in the executive. And this should not be at all shocking, because if you actually read the Constitution, and my big government Democrat friends and my big government Republican friends, you haven't. Either that or you don't agree with it. That's what the Constitution, is designed to do. The whole thing is designed to limit the power of the government. And to limit the power of each individual branch of the government even further, so that branch of government can't just kind of take over all of them. But you wanted your stuff. You wanted your Social Security. You wanted your welfare. You wanted your PBS. You wanted a bunch of stuff. And so we just conveniently ignore all of that. And the second solution, which is the greater solution, is that we got to quit putting our trust in government. And this is the root of all of this, right? Is that we needed someone to put our trust in because things go wrong. And there are things that go on in the world that are evil, and there are things that go on in the world that are tragic, and we need to put our trust in something to save us. And then government doesn't save us, and so they need more power so they can save us next time. And that's the root of all of this. That's the root of all of it. I mean, FDR looked at the Great Depression and provided the solution. Government can save you. Government can provide you with these things. And it didn't work. And so that keeps having to expand. That keeps having to expand, and further down the road, it keeps expanding. And then government becomes our savior because we have no other hope. You know, we can't save ourselves, so we look to government. Government becomes our savior, and they're a really terrible savior. And so, or the other guy gets in charge, and all of a sudden, we're freaked out because our savior has gone to the other team. And we get freaked out, and that's when we start rioting. That's when we start burning things. And the reason is because we've put our trust in something that can't save us. I mean, the answer to this is Christ. The answer to this is Christ. That our hope is not in the kings. It's not in the princes. It's in the King of Kings. And the only one who can actually save us. And until we figure that out, we're going to keep grasping for hope in something else. We're going to keep grasping for other saviors, and we're going to make idols out of them. And that's what's landed us here today. It's worship of the state. I mean, you know, okay, and not a lot of people are saying that, and so, you know, it's shocking to hear. But if a change in the party in power causes me to go protest to this degree, to demand impeachment, to sign all these petitions, not because of anything that's actually happened, but just because we don't like the policies of the other side, it's because we worship government. It's because we've set government up as our functional savior. It's because we've made an idol out of it. And all of a sudden we realize, no, government's not going to save us.